All right, I'm recording this on a Sunday afternoon in part to showcase the greatest hits of my sports card collection. The main driver, I'll be straight up with you, it's just eBay, the mystery lot auctions I have up. I can only post so many pictures, 12 is the max. I'm not going to just unload every card in here and take one great picture and, it's like you're trying to, each card becomes like a pixel you're trying to pin out. A lot of these cards have been in here for over a decade, some over 15 years, some 20 years. Most are recent, within the last 3 to 5, but just want to go through it, and for you, the viewer, most of these cards are available as part of the mystery lot. There's a few that are going to be keepers until further notice, but a lot of these are going to be, they're available as chase hits. So here we go. And just as a disclaimer, I do take care of these cards. I sleeve them, I get them in these sleeves. Some prefer putting them in top loaders, and I totally get that. Albums have always been a more personal buy for me. So yeah, I'm aware that the corners might, seeing some of these exquisite cards, this flawless of Grant Hill, most probably would put that in a screw top loader. Some would even go the graded route. I don't send cards to get graded. I keep all my cards raw because I just think that I'm always nervous about cards getting lost and the cost involved in grading. And I think once you get them graded, it loses a little bit of a personal touch. I'm a little bit of an old school soul in that way. So I remember pulling this card when I was in college, 0405, hard court. I kind of missed the hard court days, I'm not going to lie. But, these cards, no particular order. I pulled the Leonard and the Durant, and Davis got in a break. So some of these I purchased, like the Barkley and the Bird, I purchased solo. I'm a believer in buying singles. The greatest value is found in the singles. Like the Giannis, I got the Giannis card back in early 19 for just $90. The Curry bought solo in 2014 for $200. This card is now worth $1,200, so that's a good ROI there. Some of these I remember being pulled, like that one. I love the Rivers duel. I don't think that's from 12-13 Elite. I think this page was all purchased singles. These are signed with COAs outside of the top. The top row, I should say. My kids are watching the video in the other room. I remember pulling that patch. That was nasty, filthy. That was a pull back in college as well. Artifacts, 0708 Artifacts. Joker, I got in 2016. So I did buy that single when it was still $50, and that card has now gone way up in value. I've always had a decent idea of when to buy players and when not to. And a lot of these cards were purchased last decade before the COVID boom. Like this Westbrook here, I got that in the MVP season, and I did pay $100 for it, but it probably wasn't the best timing there. But this was a box. I remember getting this Irving Gold Ink SP in 2010. That was a very fun pit. I was trying to figure out what the odds were, but all I could really find out was that it was just an SP from that set. I got this card in 2015. It was redeemed points, and it was a very low amount of points to get this card. And I remember just I pounced on that fast. Didn't get a lot of points. Probably only gotten 2,000 points over my pulling career. I've always tended to avoid them somehow. I think all of these were singles. These are some really chunky patches. Somehow I was able to fit them in. Not an issue. I remember getting that out of a blaster. The Porzingis patch, that was fun. Got an AI patch memo. I think that was pulled out of the box. Of Threads. I remember the infamous 1516, not infamous, sorry, probably the best hobby box I've ever purchased in terms of ROI value. $45 for a 1516 Excalibur. Might have been 1415 Excalibur, but I got this and a Kaboom of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and it was only $45. That was purchased December 16. I kid you not, a hobby box for under 50. Yielded some massive hits. One of them being that Magic USA Game Worn patch. Again, no particular order to these cards. I tried to lump autos patches with patches. Excalibur, that was from a blaster box. Excalibur was really kind to me last decade. Now it costs way too much to get even. You're paying hobby box prices for blasters of Excalibur. This was a single that and the Ant-Man they're both singles that I purchased before their prices really went up. Back in, I think, 2019 and 21 respectively. So yeah, I look at these cards with a fresh pair of eyes, and I Murray, I did pay a nice price to get that during his great run in 21, I think. Francis, that goes back to middle school. I blasted up you at the Ionics. That was great. To get that card, Stevie Franchise, that was a hobby box pull. That was a blaster. Definitely had to pay a single for that. That was a blaster. All these cards mostly were, half of them were probably singles purchased. Like the Miller was a single purchased. Others from either a blaster hobby box mainly, or a mega, I don't really buy a lot of megas though. I've only really started buying megas this decade, so some of these status 1819 were out of megas and blasters too. This was a recent one that I pulled out of a Walgreens pack, 21-22 Prism. They've been selling that like crazy this year. Local retailers trying to liquidate their inventory, and that was a surprising pull. Did not expect that. It was 2012-13 Prism there with that Houston auto, not worth much. There's Halliburton. A lot of singles, like the Cassell I purchased. So like some of these players like go back to when I was a kid, and I remember watching them on TV and being excited about what they brought to the game. And I really try to tell a story with my collection. There's a Naz Reid, that's a new one. He had a great playoff run this year. Clay Thompson got this for maybe $50 in 2013-14 or 15. It was one of those years. It was before the Warriors won the championship, and now it's like a $250 card. Rex Chapman, I remember his big shot in 97 versus the Sonics. I've always been a Rex Chapman fan. Like role players on great championship teams, I do admire their autos. Hart got this year, Keegan Murray, all within the past year. This and these cards came from the same hobby box of 2022. Topps Chrome, that was a great box. Also got a numbered card at 10. It was probably the best box I got the past year. I don't buy a lot of hobby boxes. This was pulled out of I got one pack. The Brothers in Cars, shout out to them. I got in my, I think it was a silver box, like back in late 2018 or early 19. I remember being so disappointed this wasn't a Luka, but now I'm so glad I held on to it, because that card now is worth $200-ish, maybe more now, who knows. That was a blaster pull. Like the only time I bought a box of WNBA cards, I got a Diet Taurasi out, so that luck was on my side. More singles. That's a fun card. Contenders, I'm not big on paper products, but sometimes if you can get a good duel. It holds its value, but Maxi was a blaster. I had no idea that Maxi would be this amazing when I pulled that card. That was recent. That was a David Adams. Asia, T-Mall. 2 LeBron James jersey cards. Also pulled from blasters. Had more blaster luck, I think, last decade. Most of my Grizzlies cards are singles purchased. I'm really intentional about that. And by the way, I missed the grit and grind era. But at least the Grizzlies still kind of have a little bit of an identity, and I hope to get that back. Hey, bud, I'm almost done recording my video. I love this white chocolate card. That would be hard to part with. Again, it kind of comes down to how many lots someone purchases or in the story behind. I'm big on narrative based, so tell me your story. If you're buying it for your sons, and
is this my binder?
And this is Daddy's ultimate greatest hits binder.
Oh.
And I need to get some new sleeves. Some of these sleeves have been around for a long time. Are starting to tear a little bit. But
oh, can I ask something? So I can sell? Because I want money.
That Spud Webb was another Walgreens pull. I look back and just where did these come from? And it's funny how each card tells its own story, but you're also trying to tell the story of the game. That was a blaster pull. So yeah, it stitched together. Bill Walton, I did get that this year after he passed. I did pay $30 for that. I didn't have Bill Walton. I always try to find legends of the game, but also some. It's not just superstars, but role players who have had impacts on great teams, legendary teams, and even just players like Stephon Marbury. I remember when he was coming on strong. I was late elementary school, and just loved watching the NBA on TNT. Oh man, I need to work on this one. I love patches from jerseys that were game worn. None of this, not from any specific event crap that you see in the hobby today. This example of a card, I started watching the NBA as a first grader, 93, the NBA Finals with the Suns and the Bulls, and I never looked back. So my son is excited about partnering with me in this business endeavor. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of show you, again, greatest hits. That is, by the way, a Magic Soul patch. That is a shoe chunk. So, all right, Kaden, you can back off. And yeah, that MJ auto, LeBron auto, probably won't be including those, but maybe the Tatum and the Dunk and the Pippen and the Dirk, I might be willing to include those as chase hits too. So there you have it. My greatest hits as of July 2024. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to catch y'all on the fry. Peace.